check me out. Back at a pond. Let's get some fish. Out in the Tench pond, simple float fishing setup. Just giving it a rake through. There's not much weed, luckily, so hopefully that'll switch them on a little bit. Simple float setup. New loaded float. It's only a 1 gram loaded float with the sensitive tip where you got the rings to show lift bites. A couple of shot there. A couple of number 8s somewhere down the line, and a big bundle of red maggots just to be setting off with. There's a lot of bubbles and things, but that just might be where I've raked it, but to be honest I think there's movement out there already, so let's get that in and see what happens. And I might just need to knock up some ground bait, simple ground bait, but hopefully we can just bang a fish straight out. Avon rod, retro Shimano reel, 4 pound line, size, I don't know, 12 hook or something. Might just be a couple too many shot on there. I might just need to get rid of that one of those shot. I'll try again. I've plumbed it. Should be good on the depth. In fact, what I'll do. Yeah, all float fishermen know shotting is the best part of the day. Anyone use those float stops? I've never found myself using them. Always just used locking shot. So be interested to know how well the float stops work. Target species is tench. Although speaking to a gentleman that was down on this pond earlier, there is a lot of rudd in here now, so I've put a load of maggots on just to try and avoid those. There was also crucians in here, but I've never seen them. Tench go from few ounces, honestly, tiny ones. I've had some really nice miniature tench out of here. He said up to about 7 pound, but you'd be doing very well if you get one of anywhere around 5. So I'm happy with any. They're my favourite species, so I'm happy to just take them as they come. So I've just knocked up some ground bait. Rod Poke Classic, bread, bran and oats. The standard, and then I add things to it. Like today I've got some krill powder, something, which I've added to it, and it's turned it this very sort of salmon pink colour. Hopefully that'll break up in the water and give them something to have a go at, and then I can feed over the top of it with some maggots. Give it a go. This is another one of those floats that's been very awkward to shot. All quiet on the Tench pond. Shame. It is still middle of the afternoon, so I've not given up hope. A bit more feed. I'll switch them back on. As I said, I've got some corn. There's movement. It's just a bit few and far between. Anyway, time for a sandwich. No fizzing and bubbling, but I'm sure I can lure them this way. Try a couple bits of corn. Still frozen. One tends to float when it's frozen. Should be able to rapid defrost the corn by just filling it with some water. Few maggots wiggled off the hook. Might have to down the hook size. It's just not quite getting there. Not quite getting the results. I mean, there's fish about. I can see fish moving and I can see the bubbles. Topped off with a piece of corn. Let's try that. So this is how I do my ground bait. Slice of bread, bran and oats in there. Just notching that float. So, and then I just wet it. As a load of people say, don't over wet it. Just dampen it. And if you do over wet it, the brown's quite good. This wanted 2 slices of bread in it, really. So the bread turns into chunks. The oats are obviously all your particles, and it also glues it all together. And the bran just acts as a sort of binding agent, and it's just more particle in the water. And then you can add your, if you're one of those people that buys expensive additives, then put your additives in. I tend not to. I just saw some of that krill stuff and I thought, oh, I'll add some krill thing. Put some of that in now. But again, expensive. Don't need it. Why does everyone everything? But it's the stuff that catches fish. That's the selling point, isn't it? That's the one that catches you fish. So then you got nice, crumbly ground bait that when it hits the water, break up and give you a nice even lay, and it's eaten by all fish. That's the best part. It's just the all round ground bait mix. Put some maggots in there, some corn in there. You can put those pellets in there, you can put those micro pellets. Actually, I think I've got some of those micro pellets. Really good round a feeder as well. One of those inline cage feeder things. Those feeders. Those are the ones I tend to use. Inline, up and down. And they that wraps around that really well. So, let's hurl a few of these out. Right, time's moved on a bit. Not much has changed. Bit more feeding, trying different things. Wasn't really working, so I have swapped around a bit. I've now got feeder on, one of those inline feeders, all gunked up with stuff. 3 red maggots and a tip with a piece of sweet corn. Size 12 hook or something. And then on the other rod again, still got that float, reshotted it, sitting quite nice now. Slightly smaller hook, probably size 14 or something. A couple of red maggots. Might put another one on because they are wriggling like mad and exposing quite a lot of hook. So, let's try that. Let's get that feeder in. Get this one in. That one's out nicely. Right up there. Going to put the feeder off just to this side on the quiver tip. So. Need to get a rod rest for that. Oh. You come off. Ah! I had a take on the float. Just as I reeled it in, it came off. Ah! I think it was only a rudd. Wow. Next to diddly squat was happening in that swim. So it's prompted a move. I'm just going to come around the corner. When I eyed the swim up earlier, the sun was beating down right in where I wanted to sit. So I decided not. That's better. So I decided not to go here. But now the sun's come across, it's nice and shady, so I'm thinking it's going to be a nice little spot to sit for the rest of the afternoon. I've got half a tub of ground bait. I'm going to get that in the water and then go back and get my rods. So let's have a look. Nice and clear. You can see that cloud just being made up now. Sticking with it, 2 maggots on a size 14-ish. Go for 3. Go down. Still on the look for tench. Water in the rod rings is one of the most annoying things ever. Oh, I think that was a rudd. His head scamping about, but it came off. And stuck in the sedge. Get out there. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think the rudd are present. That was very annoying. The rudd are present. Not at all what I wanted. Not the target species. But, like many a days, it's made it worse. The rudd has saved the blank. Sound like it broke that. Right, oh, for God's sake. Right, tiny rudd. Might have saved us a blank, but not what we're after, is it? Let's get out. Let's get another, let's get a tench. I can see one fizzing. I can see one bubbling away over it. So. I have got the feeder rod. It's not out yet. Right, another little rod. Right. Maggots are probably not going to be the way to go then. Right. Double corn. There's no way a little rudd is eating double corn. Right, the double corn has calmed the rudd down now. Looks like they're trying to eat the bare bloody hook. No. Just another rudd. Well, unfortunately nothing's really going to plan. I've got the feeder rod back out again. It's getting a bit of tension. But it might just be rudd poking away at the feeder. Float keeps just being knocked about. So it's all a bit hit and miss, a bit touch and go. Hopefully it picks up in about half hour or so. But if not, then unfortunately it's been a miss on the Tench day. But there's still hope. It's getting into good tench time. And I might end the day taking a wander up the rest of the ponds with spread flake and having a go for some of the cruising carp. Quiver tip is quivering, but not indicating a good solid bite. I do think it's just them knocking the feeder. Oh, I think I'm on. Almost lost the rod. And it's a 10. And it's a 10. Oh my god. There's a tench! Literally. I was just doing something, and then I threw that rod back out. I put the float up a little bit. Chucked that rod back out. Reeled in the feeder, and looked back, and I thought, that's not where I put my rod. The rod had slammed up against the rod rest, and because it was being pulled in by this tiny tench. So let's get a look at him. Nice. It's happened at last. Oh. He didn't get much of a chance to have a fight because I just got him in. There we go. Down. Oh my god! That's been a long time coming. There. Look at this little dude. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, covered in slime. Touch the camera. There we go. Little Mr. Tench. Look at that. Couple of ounces. Oh, beautiful fish. Honestly, my favourite fish. And it was just so sort of off the cuff. I didn't even see the float go down. It was just over in an instant. But anyway, got the tench. So glad we got the tench. Oh. Right, let's get this one back, and we'll try out another method. At least I know they're taking the corn. Oh, yes. Teeny, but totally worth it. Oh, totally worth it. That deserves another coffee, I think. So over the moon with that tench, God. I've got both rods back out. Floats over on the left-hand side, which is where I got that last one. Feeder is at the far end of the lilies at this side. Bit of slack on the feeder just so I can actually see if there's any take on it. I don't know where the float's gone now. I did put the float up so I could see it a bit more, but that doesn't seem to be working. Oh, come on. I know it's green, but it's not the green I want. Alright, have some of that. I actually want to say thank you to a fellow who commented on my last video saying enjoyed the video but would like to see more of the fishing. I believe his name's Paddy McDaddy or something, and so yeah, here we are, Paddy. I'm out fishing. It was because of you. That tench was dedicated to you, Paddy. Yeah, because you commented that, saying, oh, want to see more of your fishing, it made me think, Christ, actually, I hadn't been out fishing for a long time. And looked back over the videos and was like, yeah, it's been like 4 months or something since I did fishing. So, back out. And hopefully be back out again soon, because I always get into like the sort of thing where I do something for months and then I go, oh no, switch to another thing, do something else for months. So it's coming up 7 o'clock now. Probably give it sort of proverbial half hour. Even though it hasn't been an action-packed day, it's certainly been nice to just get out again. Right, we're in again. In again. He's buried me in the weed though. I don't know if he's still on or if this is weed. I think this is weed. Oh! God! He had me! He had me in the weed. That's right over on the left, so. There's fish about. And it was tench, I can tell it was tench. It got slime on the line. Gonna have to go home soon. Eating the last cake. Well, it hasn't been an action-packed day, but it's certainly been a worthwhile day. It's amazing, isn't it? It just takes one fish to make it all worthwhile. Still hoping to get one on the feeder, just so I've got one on both. But the left-hand side's quieted down a bit now. Right, this is the last doors. Bait's in, hooks are set, most of the stuff's packed away. It's been nice. Been able to. I saw some kingfishers earlier. Up the top end of the pond. Probably taking rudd or something off the top. I've had people say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky you get to see kingfishers." Oh, that was a lift bite there. Really nice lift bite. Wasn't a fish though. People say, "Oh, you're really lucky to see kingfishers." And I say, "Well, you know, how often do you spend near water?" And they say, "Oh, never really." And I was like, "Well, that's why you don't see kingfishers." Right. I'm going to have to call it there, I think. He says, looking back at his rods. I'm going to have to call it there. Thank you very much for watching. There will be more fishing videos coming, so don't worry about that. It says, I do enjoy my bushcraft, so that's why I'm out doing more woods activities. It takes a lot for me to find the time to come fishing, which is the problem, because it takes like a day, you know, as most fishermen know. Fishing's a long game. You can't just nip out for a couple of hours fishing. Like you can in the evening, but you know, I can shoot up the woods and get something done in a few hours, whereas to go fishing it takes a lot of time. But yeah, there will be fishing doing, and as I said, I get, pardon the pun, I get hooked on something and I keep doing it, so chances are I'll get home and start watching some fishing stuff and I'll be like, oh, gotta get fishing again. So it won't be too long, and even if I can get a couple of hours after work, just come down, either do a bit more tench fishing or surface fishing for the carp. I've got a water which is closer to my house, or I can just go to just for an evening and try and get some fish off the top. Takes a little time to get out this way, but this is one of my favourites. This is close to where I did that centerpin video with the rudd. I need to get in the river as well. I always leave the river fishing until way late in the season, and it just tends to be crap. I don't know my way around the rivers, that's the problem. I was brought up on a canal and then moved to Stillwater, which are very similar. So I don't really know my way around rivers. I've never had much luck on the rivers. I want to learn to fish the rivers. And there's one little spot that I found which is really cool, which is on a tidal stretch. Again, completely different ball game. Tidal rivers. So, yeah, hopefully I'll do some research and we'll get out on one of these rivers. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. Take it steady, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!